Hello again, everybody. Today I have a review of my 1987 Honda Elite 50s. They look a lot alike, don't they? They share a lot of things that are also alike, and let's go over those things real quick. They both have the same length at 63.4 inches. They both have the same width at 23 inches. A height of 40.6 inches. Share a dry weight of 126.8 pounds. A fuel capacity of 0.77 US gallons. They're air-cooled two-stroke engines, of course, with a displacement of 49.4 cc's. They have a CVT transmission, and they both share an electric and a kickstart. Well, let me introduce you to these beautiful two bikes. The one on the left is an SE50P or an Elite 50. This is the restricted model, and the one on the right is an SE50 or Elite 50S, and this is the unrestricted version. Now, why did I call one restricted and one unrestricted? Well, from the factory, the top speed of the Elite 50 is 30 to 32 miles an hour, where for the Elite 50S, it's 38 to 40 miles an hour. And you're actually supposed to get a motorcycle endorsement to legally ride the one on the right. So what makes these fraternal twins and no longer identical twins? Well, it's in the cluster. Take a look at this one. This one goes actually up to 35 miles an hour. It has a fuel gauge. It has turn signal and high beam. And the hand controls, of course, those are going to be the same on just about every Honda scooter. But the cubby, is that different? No, that's the same. So if you're looking at these two bikes, what's different? Well, right away you're going to notice it is the Speedo. This Speedo goes up to 45. So if you're looking at one of these bikes and you wanted to distinguish whether it's a 50S or not, well, the 50S comes up with a Speedo that goes a bit higher. Everything else we talked about, that's all going to be the same between both bikes. So, everything else we're looking at is, well, can't tell them apart. They look the same. Now, of course, these things can be changed. You could remove the Speedo and put the 50S Speedo in if you wanted to. But let's say that the bikes are stock and just been painted, at least for the argument's sake. This particular Speedo is also shared with an 87 Spree, which is kind of a cool factor. But let's look at the other thing that makes these visually different, and it's the exhaust. For the regular Elite 50, which is restricted, you'll notice it's the same diameter for the pipe on the exhaust all the way through. Where if you walk over to the Elite 50S, you can see it gets wider at one end. This exhaust is actually also used in the Aero 50s. So if you're looking for an exhaust upgrade for your regular Elite 50, just find yourself an Aero 50 exhaust, and that'll help your speed for a few miles per hour anyway. There are some other things internally inside the bike that you can't see that are also different, and the first is the final reduction right here. The final reduction on the Elite 50 is 11 to 1, and on the 50S behind me it's 10 to 1, which is definitely more desirable. Now, they also have a carburetor difference adjusted behind that hole. This one has got an 85 main jet in it, and this one's got an 87 main jet in it. The last is the ram plate. The ram plate is a flat type plate on this one, and on the Elite 50, it's more of a beveled edge where it gives you more restriction, unfortunately. So these are the differences: the Speedo, the exhaust, the final reduction, the main jet, and the Variator ram plate. So if you're looking for one of these bikes, those are going to be the things that are going to be different between the two. Now, I have obvious cosmetic differences. Like, I dipped this cover that was originally black. I painted the rims black on this bike, and that one I kept them stock. I wanted them to have their own individuality and make it easy to tell them apart. But they're still polar opposites, and that's why I put these Honda decals, one going in one direction and one going in the other, just to show you the difference. The wacky paint on the front with the stock sides on this bike, and this one with the stock front, and the wacky paint on the sides. You know, in 1987, if you would have walked in the showroom, you would have only found this lavender and black combination in the United States. Nowhere else would you have found them that look like this. Other parts of the world do have the SC50, different colors, different headstock, slight differences here and there, but nothing like these two particular bikes. These two bikes, extremely rare, 1-year models, and would have cost you around $650 for the Elite 50 on the left and around $725 on the right. And if you didn't buy them in '87, you weren't going to get another chance. So that's going to do it for my review of these two pretty ladies. And if you like my content, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you also like my content and hit that notification button. I've got a new project, and I'll see you soon.